Good morning. This is Mission Control Houston. Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's edition of Space Station Live this Thursday, April 18. You're joining us now inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the team has been keeping track of the systems aboard the station and supporting the day's activities of the Expedition 35 crew members. Leading the Orbit 2 team here in the Station Flight Control Room today is Flight Director Mike Lammers. Serving as Capcom is Mark Regan, who is responsible for relaying all ground messages up to the crew. And now aboard the International Space Station is Commander of the Complex, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Chris Hadfield, shown here on the right-hand side, along with flight engineers Russian cosmonaut Roman Romanenko, NASA astronauts Tom Marshburn, and there on the left-hand side, Chris Cassidy, and cosmonauts Pavel Vinogradov and Alexander Misurkin. Hadfield, Romanenko, and Marshburn had arrived at the International Space Station back in December of last year aboard their Soyuz spacecraft after docking it to the Rassvet module following their launch on December 19. Now, in their fourth month aboard the space station, they complete 121 consecutive days in space today. And joining them, Cassidy, Vinogradov, and Misurkin arrived at the space station a few weeks ago aboard their Soyuz spacecraft, docking it to the Poisk module on the same day of their launch on March 28th. This is the first crew to arrive at the space station on the same day of its launch. Today they complete 22 days in space. The space station with its crew aboard is flying now at an altitude of a little more than 260 statute miles. The orbiting facility is on a nighttime pass across the South Pacific Ocean, swinging from a southeast track to make a northeast track as it passes into an orbital sunrise here in just a few minutes. The space station crew members began their day with some time this morning for work prep, breakfast, morning hygiene, and a daily station inspection. The crew then kicked off the day with the first of two daily planning conferences with ground controllers around the world to review the day's activities and plan for the next set of tasks. After the first of the day's daily planning conference, the Expedition 35 crew participated in a weekly conference with the Russian flight control team. Aboard the orbiting complex today is a day of rest for several of the crew members on the space station in advance of tomorrow's spacewalk by flight engineers Vinogradov and Romanenko. They will deploy and retrieve several experiment packages on the Russian segment of the complex and also will replace a faulty reflector device on the aft end of the Zvezda service module that is part of the navigational aids to be used for the automated docking of the European Space Agency's Albert Einstein, the automated transfer vehicle for cargo ship, to Zvezda that will arrive there aboard the International Space Station later in June. The spacewalk is scheduled to begin with the opening of the hatch to the Pirs docking compartment airlock at 9:06 a.m. Central Time for the start of the planned 6-hour excursion. This excursion will be the 167th spacewalk in support of station, assembly, and maintenance, the 7th in Vinogradov's career, and the first for Romanenko. Earlier this morning, the pair had reviewed tomorrow's spacewalk timeline with the space station commander, Chris Hadfield. Meanwhile, others continue their work with a few science experiments, maintenance, and the station's extensive communications upgrade. Commander Hadfield and flight engineer Marshburn wrap up the upgrades to the new high-rate communications system today by connecting coaxial cables to bus tie the new KU Communications Unit 1 to its redundant KU Communications 2. KU band communications will be down for several hours today during the mating of these cables and the ensuing checkout. Hadfield and Marshburn also both continue to follow a special diet and log their diet consumption as part of a couple of human body studies known as ProK and Energy. ProK seeks a dietary countermeasure by increasing protein in their diets, a countermeasure for bone loss, while also Energy evaluates energy balance of a long-duration space flight crew member. Commander Hatfield also had performed regular maintenance to the onboard water recovery system. This is the system that converts urine, sweat, and condensation into drinkable water for the crew. Flight engineers Marshburn and Cassidy both had participated in their individual monthly periodic fitness evaluation. Physical fitness is essential for long-duration crew members as it helps to mitigate the negative effects of microgravity on the human body. Then Marshburn had spent some time reviewing the new Canadian medical experiment that seeks to understand why some station astronauts are prone to fainting spells after returning to Earth. The new BP-REG study will involve collecting data before, during, and after a crew member's mission using inflatable cuffs attached to the crew member's legs, looking for changes in blood pressure that may help predict risk of dizziness and fainting. BP-REG will not only help understand dizziness in astronauts, but also have the direct benefits for everyday people right here on Earth, particularly those predisposed to falls and resulting injuries as seen in the elderly. Flight engineer Cassidy had worked today to set up, review, and conduct a capillary flow experiment run. The capillary flow experiment is an ongoing fluid physics study that looks at the behavior of fluids in microgravity. Results could improve the design of fluid transfer systems on future spacecraft, such as fuel and water tanks. And each of the crew members will put in their daily 2 hours of exercise using the onboard gym equipment that includes a station bicycle, a treadmill, and the advanced resistive exercise device that simulates weightlifting here on Earth. The crew then will wrap up their day with a final daily planning conference with the ground. Each crew member's sleep times varies today with some shifting from their normal sleep period in support of tomorrow's spacewalk. Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA attempted its test launch of the Orbital Sciences Antares rocket from the Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia yesterday. At about T-minus 12 minutes at 3:48 p.m. Central Time, that rocket launch was scrubbed due to a premature dislocation of a second stage umbilical. A second attempt has been scheduled for tomorrow. Coverage of that second attempt to launch the Orbital Sciences Antares rocket on its test flight will begin on NASA television tomorrow at about 3:30 p.m. Central Time, right after the conclusion of the spacewalk. This is Mission Control Houston.